It's my pleasure to be back here with you and Jonah Stephen, who's here as our guest on Going Beyond. He's a hardcore computer professional, and he's been talking to me about various aspects of this industry. Steve, I want to know, you talked about bringing business into India. One always visualized that it was going out of India, the business, and it was like body shopping or doing projects or whatever. So now talk to me about this part of it.
As you know, we started opening up the country from 1990 onwards. Initially, a lot of people went out to work in software industry, but in the last so many years, like me, they have all experienced the world, and many of them started coming back over the last 10 years, and that they bring a lot of knowledge into the country. So now we are seeing that a lot of knowledge is available in the country to do great things, and the country also is inching towards 2.5 trillion economy, and there is a lot of opportunity for everybody in India in all verticals, all industry areas.
Right, but people outside of India, do they respect the Indian businessman for keeping his word?
Indian,
or has that changed?
If you look at all the big companies in the world, the biggest brands that you can think about in the US, in the UK, in Japan, or any part of the world, they have their operations here in one way or other. That tells you that they trust us, not only our leaders but also
do
our
they trust
staff.
us, or is it just cheap labor they get here?
It started with cheap labor, but it's not cheap anymore.
Really?
No,
Okay.
we are not cheap anymore.
Oh, good.
I think we are paid almost industry standard salary, right, minus some cost arbitrage that is still there, but we are not considered as a cheap destination anymore. People come here for creating value for themselves and their business.
Right. Steve, when you decided to come back to India, why did you decide to come back? You could have opened these companies anywhere in the world. You lived in so many different countries. Why did you do that? For what reason?
3 reasons. Basically, my kids were just growing up, and they were like getting to 8th and 9th grade. I thought I should give them a relative stability, not just moving homes, so that they can complete their 12th grade well and get into a good college. Wanted to support my mom. She is here with my extended family, so wanted to kind of have her with us. And third thing is, I was also always thinking, this is such a big country, there is so much opportunity, I need to explore this my own country. This takes back to 1995 when I actually arrived in London and saw the Thames, and I was shocked.
Why?
Because I come from a town, or now a city called Trichy. So the Kaveri over there
yes,
is at least a
yes.
kilometer wide,
yes.
and Thames is a few hundred meters wide.
I know, that's true.
And there's a small bridge, London Bridge, standing there,
yes.
and they're saying they rule the world.
Yes.
I said, what happened to my country? Why did they let these guys rule us?
Right, that's true.
And that was something that kept on telling me that with such a huge resources, such big capability, we are not made for what we are today.
Right.
We have to do something big, and I'm happy to do anything that I can in my own way.
Right. Interesting point. I remember in Colorado looking at what they called a river. It was not even a little stream in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. Now, you have 2 kids. Would you like your children to enter the IT industry? What would be your personal choice for your children?
I would love them, but I would not force them. So it's their choice. Maybe my son will get into technology space. My daughter has already made a choice to go to the design space. So she is a budding designer, and he is a budding techie. So
you've got a combination there, but it's related in a way, don't you think so?
Yes.
Now, you've already got, what, 3 or 4 companies under your belt?
Yes.
And I'm curious about what the future holds for somebody as dynamic as yourself, Stephen. Do you see more companies in the future? Do you see, I can't see you sitting and putting your feet up for sure. Tell me.
I think I want to make all these businesses autonomous, independent, and thriving, and find space to do something more in coming years. So my mission is to make them as independent as possible in months and years to come.
Can you be a good person and be a successful entrepreneur in our country?
I think you should. I think there's no doubts about it. You have to be good, and you have to be. If you are to be an entrepreneur, also you have to be good. There may be bad examples everywhere, but we fail to see the good examples. There are so many good examples around us, and take any business group that has thrived for say 50 years. You will see that they are not they are not the companies that did anything wrong. You take all the business groups, Tatas, right,
Yes.
or the TVS or the Godrej. You take any large group who has surveyed even 30 years, you will see that they have the right DNA, right. It's only the fly by night operators, the
Yes.
companies that come and go, they actually do all these kind of thing, and they will, like I said, they will come, but they will also go.
Right.
So I believe in that. If you do the right things, and a businessman has to do the right thing, because by nature of a business is established for perpetuity.
Indeed, it should be so.
Yes.
Now, you talked about these very big companies, been around a long time, so they've kind of achieved a certain level of success. Now, what do you think is the secret of your success? I know it's not been 30 years, but nevertheless, why do you think you've got to where you are today?
You know, I think, like I said in the beginning, in the first conversation, I think what the world expect of any leader is, does this guy has a vision? Is he trying to do something great, bigger than something, right? That what others can do or what he himself can do. So does he carry a vision or an objective that is big, larger than life, and is that ultimately helping somebody, some stakeholders in the right way in any industry, any business? And if these two align, does he have the ability to execute through that? When you are clear about all that, people want to work with you. They say that, can I be part of this journey? They actually walk into that. There will be doubt, there will be doubting people, there will be people who are like, won't believe in that. That's fine, that's how it all starts. As you grow with years and months and years, you will see more believers than doubting people.
Right.
So as long as, like I always say, as long as more people, the percentage of people who believe in you is bigger than the person who don't believe in you, you're okay.
You're okay.
You're
yes.
never going to be 100%.
What is okay, I can see, is I know some other members of your family. What is it that makes this particular family as successful as you guys have been? I mean, your brothers, your sisters. There's something there. Is it in the genes? Is it in the DNA? Is it parental guidance? Is it parental encouragement? What do you think is the actual reason for many successful people within among your siblings, for instance?
The core thing is, I call values. So what you pick up as values, knowingly or unknowingly, from your upbringing, that actually makes you finally. And as you grow older, you tend to grow closer to your parents' values. You create your own divergence at a young age, because you need to learn and experiment the world. So you try to do all that, but as you grow older, you tend to converge, the values tend to converge. If the values of your parents are very good, right, it always helps. But to just reiterate what I said in the beginning, it's ultimately, if the people around you, the percentage has been good, it's all about percentages and numbers. Yes. If the percentage of people have been good, they have lived a good life, they have shown good values around you, you also get into that.
I really like that. Yes.
And if that environment is not good, and you still want to be good, that's going to be huge effort. Fortunately for me, the environment has been good, been exposed to the right people, exposed to the right community, grew up in the right community, grew up with the right kind of good parents. That actually, I think, is helping us overall.
At the end of the day, and that's such a beautiful way on which I can end, I'd like to thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you, Jenifer.
Really do appreciate
Right.
your time today. Well, it's been our pleasure to have Jonah Stephen here in the studio, and I think that what he's told me today makes so much sense in our modern day world. So you take care until you're back again here with me on Going Beyond. Don't forget, just keep watching. Thank you for being with us.
Going Beyond, brought to you by IBHAR, Empowering Achievement.